But this is the road that's heading with this sort of technology. And it's not for us to be afraid of. It's just for us to be aware of it. This is where this is headed, and you need to be aware that you might not need to trust everything that comes from artificial intelligence.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Upper Room Studios. This is the Road Home Podcast.
And today, we're going to have an intelligent conversation. Intelligent.
Pun intended.
So, like, is it going to be a natural or
It
real?
may be an unnatural, or maybe even
There's a word for that, ain't it?
artificial.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Artificial intelligent conversation. No, we're not going to be talking to GPT, TBG, JFK, KFC, GTO. I don't know. We're not going to be talking to that program, but we are going to have a small discussion on AI. And is it okay? Or is it something we should be concerned about? Is it evil? Or is it possibly a good tool? We'll flesh it out. Okay, so the artificial intelligence, which has been around really for a while now. I mean, really probably almost 20-something years.
Yeah,
It's been in
I'd say
development.
longer than the public really knows.
Yeah, in various forms,
Yeah.
And it's really not as advanced as some people are making out that it is. But it is coming to the surface of like technology and invention and just really what progress is bringing us to. And we've talked about progress and how, it's a good thing. But there is something to this that we need to pay attention to. I've heard some people talk about this, and there's a lot of videos of people. You can type a prompt into the chat box, and it will just give you all the information based upon that prompt, and it's pretty amazing, really. And there's people that experiment with it, and there are some whole YouTube channels who are scripted based off of artificial intelligence. And to me, you might think that's cool. To me, that feels like it's robbing the human element of imagination and inspiration, creativity. And I don't know. I'm not a fan. But maybe on the flip side, there is a troubleshooting element to this. They're like, okay, people can see maybe a little bit into the future, which is kind of scary to think about, but can you troubleshoot like situations like, hey, Mr. AI person, tell me if I run this program through my computer, will it give me a virus? And it gives you all the scenarios, which is cool. But it's just too much. It's too much. And the reason I'm saying this is because I'm concerned with where it's heading. And I think that artificial intelligence as an idea is not a bad idea. Like to create something that can help you in maybe decision making or production or something like that. That's a good idea in theory. But in reality, it can be a monster. And even one of the head guys over the tech industry who was part of creating some of this software that's made this artificial intelligence so prevalent, he's even saying and making big warnings and headlines out there that this could be very dangerous in the wrong circumstances. And I want to tell you that we don't have to be afraid, right? Because if you refer back to our previous episode on fear and being afraid of like headlines and modern stuff, I do find something that we as Christians, we're so afraid of technology a lot of times because we always see the bad before we see the good. And I'm trying to look for the good in this. So first of all, we look for the good, right? So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, yeah, there's maybe some troubleshooting abilities that would be handy in certain situations, especially in like manufacturing and things like that. Knowing like the automotive industry and things like that need to have a lot of checks and balances on their testing and stuff like that. That would be good. That's good. But when I look and I see what people are doing with this, it's concerning.
Yeah, like writing worship songs and...
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Or essays and...
Yeah, people's cheating in school because they're letting this...
Yeah, and then
AI
how it's so intelligent that how are you going to decide if that is from that student or...
Yeah, so then
or
you're
if
like...
it's artificial intelligence.
I'm just gonna say
bad.
it's a good thing I didn't have that in school. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Jed would have been
Just
like
gonna leave it at that.
straight A, right?
Yes.
And okay, we're not like saying this is like the best thing and like it's so smart. I mean, I understand that. I've even seen some of the stuff that are like they type in the prompts. Unless you type the right prompts in, it's not going to put out
It's
the information.
kind of going to be weird. Like,
And like we've even seen, there are people who have artificial intelligence attached to bots that will get into our comment feed on some of our videos, and it's just wacky stuff.
Yeah.
And
You know when
weird.
it's
You know
when it's
it.
fake.
You know it.
Yeah.
So like that is like it, but it's so instant, it's so quick, and it's smart, but it's not real. It's artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It seems intelligent, but it's artificial. But when I think about the problems with someone maybe writing a worship song, and they type in, okay, Mr. Chat GPT or whatever your name is, let me type in, write me a worship song for this Sunday about Jesus. And it writes you a song. And that song was not birthed from the heart of anybody, but was simply birthed from information. And then people will take it and they will do things with it. And maybe that song gets on the charts and goes on the radio. And maybe we start singing it in our worship services. And then it was all derived from a robot.
I watched this one guy and he did that, and then he said write a worship song about the grace of God, and it sounded like pretty good.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay, give me a chord progression for this song. So it gave him the whole song, and he sung it and played it. It wrote the whole thing.
Was it good?
It was okay. It wasn't like, well, this is an amazing song.
Yeah, it was just a song.
It was kind of generic,
It worked.
but it was,
Well, I mean,
it did work.
honestly, some of these people putting out generic
real.
stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it was about like that. So.
So, okay, and I had this thought. When I started hearing stuff, I thought, what if a pastor who's not exactly, on the up and up, what if one day he's just, lazy, and he starts, you know what, I don't want to come up with a sermon this week. So, hey, I'll just AI it. And he types in, okay, give me a sermon on the goodness of God or the grace of God, or give me a sermon on whatever subject, fill in the blank. And this artificial intelligence, based upon certain scriptures, it takes, what if he writes a whole sermon? And everybody's like, this is amazing. Where did that come from? And who gets the glory? And what does that do for you? And where can that take you? And some of you sitting there, and you're like, oh boy. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be a fearful person. This is concerning of what is in the hands of people. We have a lot of power attached to this. The culture can be changed by this. And it can actually take away a lot of the creativity and the inspiration that God gives us by His Spirit that we need so desperately in this day and time. I don't want that to be robbed from the human person. But that's exactly what Satan wants to do, is he wants to steal what is real. He wants to remove your intelligence and you just rely upon artificial intelligence. I remember years ago, people used to know people's phone numbers just like that. Mm-hmm. You memorized people's phone number. There's a few, like maybe today you have like one or two that you can remember, but everybody used to remember people's phone numbers in their head or on a piece of paper. Now, we don't remember none of them because you hardly ever type in somebody's number. Why? Because you're relying upon information that's stored
Under their contact.
within their contact app. Or you don't worry about anything. You don't even work your mind because you can just Google it. Mm-hmm. And I find that sometimes we're just so quick to just like, oh, let me look that up. I looked it up. And you're there so quick before you can even let your mind work and figure that out. I have been trying that if I come up on something like this and I'm like, okay, who is that? Or what is that?
What movie did they play
Yeah, you'd be watching a movie or
I
TV
heard that
show.
voice somewhere
You're
else.
like, what is that? Oh, I know who that is. Wait a minute. No, I don't. I'm going to look it up. Oh, don't look it up. Don't look it up. Don't look.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes it's hard because your brain has gotten lazy and doesn't want to work that out.
And actually, I noticed that your brain depends on the technology.
Yeah.
But like myself, I've been trying to work on if I can't think of something to try my best.
Yeah.
Kind of go half the day.
Work your brain,
Work my brain
exercise
a little
your
bit
brain.
because I feel like I might be losing some memory
Yeah.
by doing that. But Google will have it finished, the question finished
Yeah.
typed out for you before you've even
Yeah.
asked.
Sometimes it's like, is Google read your mind?
Yeah, like you just put what, and then it'll finish it, and I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
You may not even be talking about it. You're just thinking about
yeah,
it.
just thinking it.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory, but I mean,
that's the algorithm,
it's
Yeah.
which
really
is
weird.
artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I was like one day, like, what is the name of Mr. Magoo's dog? Don't ask me why. I was wondering that. I was like, what is the name of Mr. Magoo's dog? And I was thinking, oh, Magoo. And I was trying to figure out what is Mr. Magoo's dog. Y'all, I'm crazy, so bear with me in my folly. Mr. Magoo's dog, what was his name? And you know what? Right now, I can't even think of it.
I think it's Angus
It is Angus. Never mind.
because I Googled it for you.
Yeah.
After you couldn't think of it for so long, I was like, I'm just going to Google.
Mr. Magoo's dog's name was Angus. But my mind, for some odd reason, was asking that question. There was no reason for it. The world did not rise or fall based upon whether Mr. Magoo had a dog or in his name, whatever. But it was bothering me that my mind was not, the recall wasn't there. And I want to, that's a precious thing that God gives us, the brain. We used to watch this show called Brain Games, and you learn about the way the brain works. This stuff that we hold in our hand all the time, and that is becoming greater and greater, is challenging the human brain to become dependent upon artificial intelligence. And this is dangerous, and I will show you why. Based upon the scripture and Bible prophecy, calm down, your heart rate lower, go down, beep, 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 beep. We are living in a time when you need to know this. This is important. There is an individual coming in the future, based upon Bible prophecy, known as the Antichrist. Calm down. It's going to be all right. You're not him.
Pause this video, go back, watch last week's episode, and then continue.
But the Antichrist is going to set himself up as God, and all the whole world economy and everything's going to be under his control. Him and this other dude named the false prophet, whatever his name is, he's going to be called the false prophet. They together are going to rule the political system and the religious system of the world. One day, somebody is going to kill the Antichrist. And the Antichrist is going to have a deadly wound to his head. He's going to be killed. And the false prophet will bring him back to life. And the Bible says that they made an image to him, and the false prophet gave life to that image. And they set it up in the temple, and everybody comes and worships that image because they gave life back to the image of the Antichrist. Now, there's a lot of theories out there of what this could be, but with all of this, artificial intelligence could very well be one of the ways that this is implemented from the false prophet. How? Well, there are even conversations with dead people going on with this artificial intelligence. You can talk to Abraham Lincoln, which is scary because Abe Lincoln's dead, y'all. He died, I think, a long time ago. He went to a theater and something bad happened there. I think you remember that?
I think that's kind of wrong. I mean, you're not really talking to him, but like...
We are not, okay, you don't want to go try and talk to someone else that's dead. Like, think about somebody, or maybe your family member's just dead. That falls under a little bit of, like...
Divination.
Divination and necromancy and some fortune-telling, and it's a little witchery going on there. But this is the road that's heading with this sort of technology. And it's not for us to be afraid of. It's just for us to be aware of it. This is where this is headed, and you need to be aware that you might not need to trust everything that comes from artificial intelligence. And people's like, oh, I can hear them. Oh, they're just being conspiracy theorists. No, I've read the Bible, and I believe that this book is true. And if it's 100% true, it's true enough that I believe it. What it says heals me. I believe what it says saves me from hell. I believe what it says forgives me of my sins. I believe what it says about Jesus. I believe what it says about heaven. I believe what it says about hell. I also believe what it says about the future. And the truth is that there is an agenda by Satan to take over the world. It will not be effective, and it will not work. He's going to fail because Jesus is going to come and destroy all of the enemy's devices and show himself alive once again and say, hey, I am God, and you're not. But in the meanwhile, Satan's going to put this plan together. He's going to make it look good. Where do we come in? Well, once again, we do not become overwhelmed. Don't like, I'm scared of AI. AI is so scary. No, we need to look at it with sobriety. Don't trust everything. Mm-hmm. Don't trust everything. If you know for a fact that someone has written a book that was written by AI, like, okay, you know how you have partnership in authorship? It'll be written by sole author and co-author artificial intelligence. Or what if someone takes, the writings of maybe Mark Twain, they look through Mark Twain, and you co-author a book with Mark Twain based upon what AI does. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying this is like
it's a form
bad
of plagiarism.
Thing. Yeah, it could be. It really could be, But artificial intelligence, something about artificial intelligence. For some reason, that's a hard word for me to say. Artificial intelligence. The reason that it is what it is because someone has programmed it with this knowledge. Here's something about Satan. Satan is not all-knowing. Mm-hmm. The only all-knowing being, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, the only one who has those characteristics is God Almighty. Mm-hmm. Nobody else. And he is the one who knows all, sees all, understands all, and is above all. And you know what else? He's in us all. And we have discernment to know, based upon what's on the inside of us, that I don't need to be trusting all of this stuff that people are pushing to say, oh, look, technology, this is great. This will be so handy for ministry purposes. It'll just write tracks. You can just put a prompt in, and it'll write a track on sanctification, or it'll write a track on how to get saved. It'll show you the Roman road, and you have all these great things. And I'm like, no. Something, red flag. Wee. Red flag here. Nope. My little beeper's going beep, 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 beep. Nope. Why? Because I know the book. You have anything to add, Jed, before we take off from this interesting, intelligent conversation?
Any movie I've ever watched where robots have intelligence, it does not end well.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, they usually end up taking over.
Yeah.
I mean, like WALL-E.
What? I'm thinking about Meet the Robinsons.
Okay, so they only
Meet the Robinsons.
Just
They
go
all
watch
end up in
iRobot
space.
and then
I haven't seen that.
strange things. What about?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know a movie about robots.
I was thinking about Meet the Robinsons. You know where he makes a little robot hat thing and it gets too smart. And then,
Oh, and it takes over the hat. Yeah,
just go watch iRobot with Will Smith and
yeah.
Shia
I
LaBeouf.
saw that.
yeah, no.
What about robots?
Who wants to get fixed?
Oh yeah.
Ronan Copperbottom.
Okay, we need some help.
I think we need to
Junk
cut that.
robots.
God is a good God, and we are crazy, but we're not afraid. We're just informed.
Just don't put too much trust in it.
Don't.
It can be a good tool like anything else, but at the same time, it can be a tool of destruction.
Yep.
You know, so people who've played around with it, they say it gets smarter as you do more stuff with it, and it gains more knowledge from what you put into it. And like Satan, he only knows what you put out there for him to know.
Exactly.
He only knows what you speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing though with like any social media right now. Algorithm. Depending on what you watch and look at, and it's going to suggest that kind of stuff. Or when you're shopping online now, and it suggests what you've been looking at. So it's only what you put out there.
Yeah.
And then also it tries to manipulate your own actions once it does learn who you are.
Yeah.
Which is strange. Like it'll start pushing certain products. That's like, oh, they might like this. Okay. Good marketing tool. Works real good. Is it good all the way around? We don't know that you should even be trusting all of this technology. So like even after this video, there's going to be another video pop up based upon what you just watched. So
Yeah.
Some video about AI.
it'll be something about AI, and we hope it's not scary to you. But we're not in fear. We're just informed. Okay? So we're not in fear. We're informed. And with that being said, with this information, with our intelligence, but with the peace of God, we will see you a little further down the road.
Thanks for tuning in. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. If you like to watch us, you can find us on The Road Home on YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You can check us out on Instagram at the roadhome_podcast. If you'd like to email us, you can email us at the roadhomepodcast@yahoo.com. Thank you.